Okay, so anchoring on what Brother Abdulwasi has said, the first part of the question for me, I think three critical points that I will say is that at some point, everybody's needs and aspirations are very subjective. I mean, you can't say that what I need is what somebody else needs. So we have a different definition of what is enough based on our different needs and our aspiration. The other part is at every point in time, we must do a lot of introspection to identify what matters to us. And what matters to us would go beyond the financial needs, as Brother Abdulwasi has mentioned. You can look at the quality of the network you have. You can look at what you're building. You can look at your impacts in your community, in the environment. How do you want to be known for? It could be your brand equity. This is really very subjective, and it's also just based on your needs and your aspiration. And at every critical point that you're doing an introspection of what matters to you. But to cap it, I will say that as far as you do not jeopardize the things that matter to you as an individual, in searching for more, and you stay within the limits of what Allah has commanded, I would say that nothing really is too far. It's too far, but just ensure that on that continuous journey of self-purpose, inner contentment, doing an introspection of what matters to you, ensure that you stay within the limit of what Allah has commanded us to do. So for me, I wouldn't say that anything is too far if you take on those three key points. But in terms of how can we preserve what we have, I will take it from an investment mindset. And there's something we call the IPS, which is Investors Policy Statement. And what that does thoroughly for you is for you to be able to take a step back and assess yourself as to the kind of investments that can keep you now, not just now, but also in the future. And you're looking at things around your liquidity needs. What do I need now? What do I need in future? You're looking at how risk averse you are. What do I want to put my money in? If you are somewhat closing to like 40, 45, and you're putting your money in, you're putting a lot of money in stock, it just really doesn't make sense in the financial terms, because then you know how stock can be very volatile. But if you are 25, your investment, the way you want to preserve, the way you want to invest and preserve your investment will be different from somebody who is 45 or 50 years old. At 25, you can still decide to put a lot more money in stock because you still have a leeway to, I mean, you know, just not that Allah can come up with any other plan for you, but at least in the sense that we can see, you still have a leeway to live beyond, you know, the person that is 45. So again, when you use that investors policy statement, it helps you to take a step back to do a critical thinking about who are you in terms of an investor? What are your liquidity needs? What are your risk aversion? What is your timeline for the particular investments that you think might interest you? And how can you preserve more around preserving those investments? So if you take it from that point, it will help you do a more critical analysis in the light of what you plan for in the future. So I think that would be my point on that.
Thank you so much, Sister Aisha. Thank you both so much for your responses.